Hey everyone, welcome to Mobile Bar Startup. My name is Don. I own HD Liquid Catering here in Dallas, Texas. And today we're going to talk about networking at networking events. Now, in the last few years, I have actually used networking as a tool to help us and our business grow from basically out of my garage in 2000 to now doing pretty much 1,000 events a year. And at one point a few years ago, we grossed, before COVID, $2.5 million. And I owe it all to networking. So I want to share this with you, and hopefully you can get something out of it. So now let's go to my computer screen. So this is networking in a nutshell. Like I was telling you guys before, networking is actually a passion of mine. It is the one marketing tool that is the easiest and the hardest for me to do. I had to pretty much get out of my own way in terms of networking. I used to be so scared when I first started this business in the early 2000s. I always thought that I was not capable, or I wasn't good enough to be part of all the networking groups, or my company was too small. And probably about 6 years ago, I decided I am going to put all my focus and all my marketing energy into networking, and it has literally exploded our business. And so hopefully, like I said, I'll share this with you. And this is networking in a nutshell. So first things first, the one thing I want to ask you guys is, what business are we in? Now, you're going to say that, you know what, but we're in all these businesses. However, I would like to tell you from a networking standpoint, we are not in the alcohol or liquor business. We're not in the wedding business, and we're definitely not in the bartending business. So you ask, so what business are we in? Like, we are in the people business. And to me, people do business with people they like. It is just that simple. It doesn't matter what you do. It really matters who you are and the kind of relationships that you build with all the other vendors in the event and wedding space. So when you're asking this, how do you get people to like you? Now, as bartenders, this should be like a no-brainer, okay? Because we didn't get into mobile bartending as introverts or anything like that. As bartenders, we love talking to people. We love being in the spotlight. We like being in the limelight. And so people always tell us that we're natural salesmen and everything. And so all you have to do is harness that ability that you have and put it towards networking. Now, when I say we are natural salesmen, this is where you have to get out of your own way. Do not be a salesman. That is the worst thing that people hate, and I hate whenever I meet people at networking events. I hate people that come up to me and tell me everything they do and who they are, because you know what? I already know what DJs do. I know what photographers do. I don't know. What I want to know in networking is who that person is. I don't care what they do. I don't know. I don't really, like I said, that's not what's important in networking. So don't be a salesman. So when you're networking with vendors, it's different than talking with clients or selling clients. That's two totally different target audiences. So when you're networking with vendors, what you want to do is just get to meet them, get to know them, and then get really personal with them, because there are hundreds of DJs, there's hundreds of photographers, caterers, planners, venues, even bartending companies, okay? Maybe in your area. Not maybe bartending companies, hundreds, but there's a lot. So you got to find a way to separate yourself from your competition. And then there's only one thing that differentiates you from the other bartending company and all the other bartending companies, and that's you. You are the only you, okay? Because all of us, in a nutshell, literally, we all serve drinks, we all make cocktails, we all give great service, yada, yada, yada. That's all the same. But you know what? There's only one you, and you are the difference maker in this whole thing. So use that to your advantage, whatever that is. So where do you start? I like to use the Inigo Montoya kind of example, where this is kind of like when you meet people, You just do what he does. And if you've never seen The Princess Bride, let me show you a little clip of what I'm talking about. And literally that's it. And like I said, for all of you old bartenders out there that get this reference, yeah, I know we are old, but this is timeless. So Inigo's Guide to Networking Success is literally 4 steps. Polite greeting. Then you tell them your name. You tell them some relevant personal information, and then manage your expectations, okay? As soon as you introduce yourself as, hey, I'm a bartending service or whatever, people aren't going to just clamor all over you and go, oh my God, I've been looking for you for this whole entire time. It's like some people don't even up to this time right now, some people don't even realize that what we do isn't actually a viable business or it's its own thing. So number 4 is really important. Manage your expectations. So the next thing is, for most people, like, you hate small talk. You don't know what to say to people. This is easy. You want to ask questions about what people like to talk about the most. And you know what that is? Themselves. If you just sit there and ask people questions, as soon as you meet them, you introduce yourself. Hey, how's it going? My name's Don. I'm with HD Liquid Catering, blah, blah. Then you go into, how about you? What's your name? What do you do? Oh, that's really exciting, and then ask them a lot of things. You want to ask all about them. Like I said, what do they do? Ask them, how long have they been in this business? What did they do before? Et cetera, et cetera. Ask them about what is it that excites them about this business. And then even from those questions, you know what, you can kind of go off into other questions, but you want to get to the point where when you're sitting there just talking, you don't even have to find different things to talk about. Just ask questions and they will be the ones that open up. And after they get done talking to you, they're going to feel like they've had a great conversation with you and it's really productive. And so the number one thing is, like I said, don't be a salesman. Try not to talk about yourself too much unless they ask. And once they ask, then that's when the reciprocity happens. And then that's when that connection starts being made. If they don't ask about you, then you know what? Then you just move on, okay? Please resist the urge to want to talk about yourself. I know it's so fun and it's easy and you want to talk all about your business and you're excited about it, but you know what? Yeah, nobody cares about your business, okay? People care about you, okay? They want to know about you, and that's what you want to get to with networking. So when it comes down to business cards, that's another thing too. There is this little practice, it's called the pass and pray, where people show up at a networking event and they just hand out all the business cards. And they feel like, you know what? I went to this networking event and I gave away pretty much like 50 business cards to everybody that was there. You know what? That's literally the worst thing you can do from my personal experience. Because when you just hand your business cards to people, look, you know where that mostly is going to go? To the trash. If people didn't ask you for it, if you didn't make a personal connection with people, you might as well have just thrown your business card into trash, because that's what these people will do. Or they will collect it in a pile of things to do later, but they never get around to doing. So what you want to do is you want to flip the script. When I go to networking events, the one thing I like to do is I want to make sure I collect business cards from everybody I meet. And once I collect those business cards, you know what I do? I go home. The next day, I send a email, just a quick one, not salesy. I want to send a personal email and say, if I met Bob at a networking event the night before, I just want to say, hey, Bob, it was great meeting you last night. I loved talking to you about this, this, and this, whatever it is that was in that conversation. Then you just say, listen, can't wait to see you again at the next networking event. Have a great day, and leave it at that. I'll tell you what, you will have a 100% success rate of making a connection when you're the one getting business cards from people, and also you're the one emailing people, not selling them, just telling them thank you, and then just reminding them that, you know what, it was great to meet them. And that's it. Leave it at that. Do not even put on there, oh, hey, and BT Dubs, if you need bartender service, let me know. We'll be available for you. Nope, then you pretty much just ruined that connection, in my opinion. So that is one thing we didn't do. So when you go to these things, literally once you standardize and once you get good at practicing this, it becomes easy. Networking is a breeze. You just show up. It doesn't matter what event it is, who's there. This is easy for you to do. And so let's go network. Where do you meet all these people? Well, first of all, you know what, depending on what city you're in, if you're in a huge market, you know, like for me here in Dallas or any of the other metro markets, you know what, there's going to be a lot of national organizations like ILEA, NACE, MPI, and even WIPA, which is new. And I think WIPA is like Wedding International Professionals Association. And ILEA is International Live Events Association. NACE is National Association of Catering and Events. And MPI is Meeting Planners International. So if you have one of those groups in your area or somewhere even close, I would recommend joining them. However, it does cost money to join it on a yearly basis, and also each event also costs money. So be prepared to shell out some cash for those national organizations. Now, if you were just starting off and you're not ready for that, that's kind of like the big leagues, then I recommend that you go and find networking groups in your area via Facebook. And when you do that, just look up groups on Facebook and just put in like wedding networking group or something like that, or ask other vendors like, hey, is there a networking group or luncheon or something like that, happy hour that meets for local wedding vendors? If you do, make sure you get on their mailing list or get on their social, follow them, and then show up at those meetings. And then lastly, if you are even in a smaller market and there is no wedding networking group, you can always start one. Now, before we get into that, that is going to be a totally new separate video, but I'm just saying is, look, don't let that stop you, okay? In fact, having your own meeting is also great, and it has its own advantages, but it's a lot harder work. We also have our own meeting here that we started in Dallas, even though there's already so many, and it has literally also gotten us a lot of exposure and has driven a lot of business for us. And finally, too, there's the group called American Association of Certified Wedding Planners. They're national, and so they might have even little sub-chapter groups. Now, you can join them. It's actually for wedding planners only, but I think you can join it as a vendor member and then just check it out. But definitely do your research on it and then get out there, start networking. So pretty much, well, I use this presentation live, but if you have any questions about networking in general, how to do it, you know what, please hit me up on social. It's going to be Mobile Bar Startup. You can also just keep following us here on YouTube at Mobile Bar Startup. I love talking about networking. I love helping people do this and get better, because it is literally like, look, you could spend thousands of dollars and lots of hours, sending out cold call emails, making cold calls, doing all those things that, that don't work, or you go out there and you network and it does work. Now, just remember, this is work. When you're in these networking events, don't get too drunk. Don't overdo it. And like I said, don't talk too much. Listen, ask questions, and if you do that, you will find some success. And by the way, this isn't something too that if you show up at one meeting and you do all these things, it'll be great. You know what? Look, this is like the example of if you join a gym and then you decide to work out for one day and realize, you know what? You're getting awesome gains after one workout. It doesn't work out that way. You literally have to be consistent about it. Start showing up to these regularly at every one of their meetings, and I will tell you, within months, 6 months to a year. I know that takes forever, but look, you're getting into this business and this is something you want to do, then it's going to take that long, but you will see that it will pay off. And so if you have any questions about it, or if you just want to know more, subscribe to our channel. I will talk more about networking because this is my #1 marketing passion. And so just like I said, like and subscribe, and keep in touch with what we're doing on our YouTube channel. So until then, talk to you guys later.